This is Goku-san DBZ, and welcome back for a new album review. Only my third one ever. Now, last time, first album I ever did was, of course, Sully, with his debut album, Avalon. Last album I reviewed was, of course, done by Marilyn Manson. His newest album, actually. This time I will be reviewing one of my personal favorite, and I feel one of the most underrated goth bands from Europe, actually. And the band is called the 69 Eyes. Great, awesome band, and the lead vocalist stands out to me vocally. He has a very deep voice. I would put on par with people like Johnny Cash, or if you ever heard of the 90s goth band Typo Negative, then you would know the style of vocals. And if you've never heard this band, please stop this, watching this video, turn over, check out some songs, and then come back. That way you understand how awesome his voice is. And this will be a review of his 2007 album called Devils, which was a back-to-back album with his 2005 album called Angels. And Angels was good, but I felt Devils was far superior to that. And in my view, this is maybe their best album from the 69 Eyes. First, I'll talk about the two bonus tracks you get with the album, or MP3, because they're the weakest part I feel overall of the album, and that is tracks 12 and 13. Track 12 is called From Dusk Till Dawn, and track number 13 is called Pitch Black. Now, if you don't know, the 69 Eyes is actually very much a goth band, of course, and they're vampire themed. The way they dress, their look with sunglasses to black leather, you name it. Very much more of a 90s, like 80s or 90s goth style look. Very cool though. And if you don't know, 69 actually, some of the members are actually really good friends with the soon-to-be unfortunately broken up band, His Infernal Majesty. Members of both bands are actually pretty close for the most part. Let's get this started. Track 1 is the self-titled track, of course named after the album, Devils. Definitely, and I personally feel one of the better songs off this album. For me personally, this is probably one runner-up to the top 5 favorite tracks off this album. Probably number 6 favorite track off the album. It's a really solid, it's easily one of the best songs off the album. I could see a lot of more normal goth fans or metal fans in general really enjoying this song, specifically Devils. Track number 2 is probably one of my 5 favorite tracks. It's a little bit softer song compared to some of the other songs in the album, though this is in general a softer album from some of the other albums prior from the band 69 Eyes. But it's a really good song. It's called Feel Berlin. And talk about some elements from past history and stuff in Berlin and things about Europe culture. It's really interesting for the most part track, and that's one thing that catches me as well as in general from this band. Track number 3 is more toss out song for me personally. Just not one of my personal favorite songs off this album. It's called Nothing on You. It's not a bad song by any means, just not my cup of tea of songs from the band or the album. Now, track number 4 is probably, maybe possibly in my top 5 favorite tracks off the album. Really good track. It's called Sister of Charity. Very brooding goth sound to it, with the choir in the background on top of the awesome deep vocals. Very excellent, well done song. It's just well done all around track. And one thing I liked about the band is there is also some really good, on occasion, piano work and other things from the band. That's one thing I like about this band, is they do put time and effort into the sound and style of their music. Next track is actually a concept song in dedication to actually frontman one of his personal favorite movies from the 1980s. Probably, maybe even his favorite vampire film of all time. This song is called Lost Boys, in honor of the film The Lost Boys, which, by the way, if you've never seen The Lost Boys, do yourself a favorite, or do yourself something really nice in general, and treat yourself and watch The Lost Boys. Easily one of the 10 greatest vampire films of all time. Because it's a true vampire film, not like that crappy Twinkle Twinkle stuff that doesn't exist, it never happened. Track number 6 after that, a pretty good song itself called Jimmy. It's not a bad track for the most part. Now, Lost Boys, one of the best concept songs I think I've heard, honestly, from any band. I just really enjoyed this song. Though it's not on my Fave 5 list. Next up is track number 7. Now, this song actually is one of my favorite songs off the album. It's a very different sound and stuff. It's supposed to be somewhat of a concept involving really like a werewolf. The song is called August Moon. Like some of the basic lines is like, August Moon, where are you? August Moon, do you believe in August Moon? It's just really enjoyable in general track. Next up is another softer song. That's also a really good song overall. It's called Beneath the Blue. Rather good track. Just like Phil Berlin, is a really good, solid, but softer track. It's rather enjoyable. I like the softer sound and melody to the song. Track number 9, hands down, my favorite track off this entire album. Track 9 is called Christina Death. Awesome, epic song. It's about this girl that the frontman once knew. It's interesting song, given some of the lyric right. It mentions like she's obsessed with the Hollywood Book of Dead. It's just really interesting for the most part. And other parts, or rather, I should say some of the other lyrics. It's just a really interesting overall song, and I love the very heavy, darker sound to it. It's just very well done, and in general, I really enjoy it. Next up is called, well, actually, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce this song, actually, so I'll just show it on screen. That is the name of the track. Okay. Really good song. It's very interesting because towards the end, the frontman starts doing a kind of strange, a Cherokee chant. Why? I'm not quite sure. It doesn't really go with the song overall. It's interesting, though. I give him points for something different. And then, the last of my top 5 favorite songs off the album. A very good softer song. It's called Only You Can Save Me. It's definitely a good song for the most part. Really good song. Very relaxing song. I will say if you're looking for something to help relax and stuff from stress or something, this is a great song to unwind to. In general, just enjoy. And it goes with the flow of the album and ends it on a perfect note. So just skip tracks 12 and 13. It ends perfectly at track 11 in my view. But overall, judging as a whole for the album on a scale of 1 to 10, I have to give, honestly, Devils probably around an 8.5 out of 10. It's a very solid overall album. It's very enjoyable. Even if you are, or even if you're not into goth style music, if you're into checking out different stuff like into alternative music, this is definitely a band you should actually check out. And as well, ever get a chance to check out some of the newer songs like Red, of their 2000, I believe it was 2011, 2012 album, which is a really good song. I enjoy it. It had a really good riff, but I'll cut up the review for this album review. And just let me know if you'd like me to do any more rock or metal album reviews. I will say, don't ever expect any pop album reviews. Not gonna happen. Unless it's like 80s, and even then, only specific artists. Never gonna happen. So with that said, I'll get ready to cut this vlog. See you all next time. Same YouTube time, same YouTube channel.